Let's go to the Big Ten. Start with our game, number 2, Michigan and Minnesota. Little Brown Jug stays with the Wolverines, 52-10, new season high in points. New season high in points allowed as well, which is saying something, consider they only allowed 10. And one of them was on a miraculous touchdown at the end of the second quarter. So we talked about it at length throughout the game, but there's a very clear argument to be made that Michigan could and should be the number 1 team in the country right now.
Yeah, and really that's a moot point. It doesn't really matter if they're 1 or 2. You know, at the end of the day, you just want to be one of the top 4 and get into playoff, you know, but they are impressive. And, you know, we talked about their talent, you know, the most talented team that Jim's had in his time in Ann Arbor, their depth on both sides of the ball in all 3 levels of their offense and defense. They've got depth and talent. They've got great culture and confidence. You know, their quarterback's playing at a high level. Their running game with the new offensive line transfers and Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards is starting to pick up steam. But their defense is elite. I mean, now they've not been tested yet by some of the better offenses that they'll face in the league. And this was the same kind of thing last year. Ohio State had great defensive numbers all the way till the end. Michigan had great defensive numbers all the way till the end and then got exposed a little bit and giving up big plays. But this Michigan defense right now is suffocating, and they have so much depth, even up front. I mean, their defensive line is really, really good. And we made the point, they were on the field. Minnesota had run 11 offensive plays, and Michigan had already rotated in 8 defensive linemen. So, I mean, you keep guys fresh and their rep count low like that, and you get off the field, I mean, that's going to be a hard defense for anybody to work against.
Yeah, it's a defense that outscored Minnesota by themselves. Michigan had 2 pick sixes, Minnesota with 10 points. Now, the Gophers do get a bye week, which actually it should help them. One, it'll get Darius Taylor, their starting freshman running back, healthy. And then they go to Iowa or at least they play Iowa, I should say, and that's a big game right there for them. You're going against an Iowa team, which we'll get to in a second, that has a backup quarterback for the rest of the season. The defense is as impressive. I shouldn't say as impressive as ever, because I don't know if it's as good as it was last year, but it's close. I mean, it's still
getting there.
It's an outstanding defense. They still have high-level players all across that unit. For Minnesota, with a newer quarterback, with an inexperienced roster, the pieces are kind of in place for the future, and that's what PJ Fleck was telling us when we met with him of, hey, we want to develop, and this is a season where we believe we can win a number of games now, but as we go in the next couple of years, this is going to develop and cohesively as a group is going to kind of rise to the occasion in these next couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, they've got to go back to the drawing board with their passing game a little bit. You know, I mean, they've got to be better throwing the football. They did show some signs of running the football against Michigan in the first half, not so much in the third quarter. Michigan made some good adjustments, but they didn't have the balance. You know, outside of that one pass right at the end of the first half, they really did not threaten Michigan with the passing game. So, I mean, I like the skill level of Ethan Kaliak-Manis, but I think they've got some receivers, but they've got to be able to step up their passing game, particularly when they play good defenses. In their next game, they're going to play another good defense. You cannot be one-dimensional against teams like Michigan or Iowa.